What is going on, YouTube and weight loss warriors? It's your boy C Dub, and I'm back with another video. Today I want to discuss with you meal timing and whether or not it matters, and I'm going to do it right after this. What is happening? If it's your first time clicking on my video, I appreciate you checking me out. And for those of you that have subscribed and returned, I appreciate you for being a weight loss warrior. Your support means the world. Today is an important topic because it's talking about meal timing and whether or not that really matters. And so I want to jump right into it. We've all been told that intermittent fasting is beneficial to us, but what is more beneficial? Should we have our first meal in the morning? Should we have our first meal midday? Or should we have our first meal at night? Does it matter if we're like the 16 and 8 traditional intermittent fasting or OMAD? And when and how can we fit all of that in? And so I thought it was an important topic because there's a teeny bit of science, not a whole lot like people would like you to think. And then on the other side of that, there's some thought the other way too. So I wanted to give you guys all the information so you can make an informed decision when it comes to your eating window and what you want to do. So first of all, let's take a look at breaking our fast first thing in the morning. And that is kind of the new trend when you're seeing intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting is constantly growing, evolving, and changing. And in the process, we're learning more and more. And some of the new studies have suggested, at least, that it's slightly important to eat early. And there's a lot of reasons for that. This is that your cortisol levels are increased in the morning, that if you're able to do something like weight training or something of that nature, that having the extra glucose in your system is going to be able to fuel you to get that workout a little bit harder and start you on your day in that manner. So are these things kind of an accurate situation? And I do think that there is some validity to that. But I want you to understand that each one of us is different, and each one of us, our missions are different. And so if you are trying to build muscle and you're going to have an early morning weightlifting session, it might be a good idea to have your first meal in the morning, because you are going to give yourself, as I covered in another video, about a 2% better result in your actual weight training. So that is going to allow you to be 2% stronger and 2% stronger, and every workout is going to be a substantial amount of strength over the course of time. So eating a meal early for a weightlifter might be more important, or if they're going to lift weights in the morning. But on the other side of that, if you skip the first meal and you're going to do weight training, not first so much as I want to be a bodybuilder, but I just want to gain some strength, I want to burn some fat, and you're more into the cardio or something like yoga or walking, getting that workout done while fasted is going to increase your fat burning. So you're in a situation where you have to decide what you're in the intermittent fasting for. If you're in it for the fat burning mode, it may be better to get any activity done while fasted, where if you are in it for a strength gaining and muscle gaining mass building mode, you might want to have your meal a little earlier. And so depending on who is giving you the information and what they're personally doing, I think they let that skew a little bit into what really should be done, if that makes sense. So one thing to consider though is with some people, and I know that I've heard this over and over again, it's not so much as me. I can have my one meal in the morning, lunch, or a dinner, and I can adjust it the next day, and as long as I'm eating once, I'm fine. I have a mental switch now that I just put it on and say it's not eating time or it's eating time, and there's nothing in between. But there are people that struggle with it, and there are people that have said that when they have breakfast or lunch a little bit too early, that they kind of open Pandora's box for the day, that they cannot get themselves back into the fasting mode. They are constantly hungry for the rest of the day, but if they push their meal to later in the day and they eat at like 6 o'clock at night, then they're able to stay satiated until they go to bed, and then wake up the next day, they feel fine, and they're able to go about their day until they open up and eat again. So by moving their windows to the middle of the day or to breakfast, what they end up doing is making themselves hungry and they can't get back on the fasting bandwagon. So if that is you, for sure you should be eating later in the afternoon. But it's really a balance of what you want to do personally. I can give you one other example. My uncle told me in the very beginning that his favorite meal was breakfast, and he could not do intermittent fasting because it would require him to skip it. And after some conversations with me, he decided that he would go ahead and eat his breakfast and not eat dinner anymore, as he put it, a traditional dinner. So he's having a traditional breakfast and a traditional lunch with no snack in the middle, and he's lost a bunch of weight, and he's doing fantastic, and he loves it, and he swears by intermittent fasting now. So you have to fit it into what you want to be able to do. But the timing wise, the science behind it may not be as strong as people want to lead you to believe. You do have some cortisol in the morning. You are able to get a little bit, 2% more in your weight training. So there are some reasons to go ahead and shift towards eating in the breakfast if that's what you want to do in your lifestyle. So I hope that these answered some questions about when you should eat. I think it's a personal decision. And for me, that decision is at 6 o'clock at night, but I will adjust my window depending on social events and what is happening that day, and I will adjust it without any guilt at all. So, you know, I think that it's all about what you need to do to make yourself and your situation as easy and effortlessly as possible, because that is what is going to be sustainable in the long term. I appreciate you watching and joining me today. I will catch you on the next one. Peace.